Okay, hello guys. Today we are going to discuss about how to set up a Sentinel lab environment to get the environment, how it can be hacked, how we can able to identify the event log, everything. So let me just go and set up a Sentinel lab. Before going into the video, just we need to log into portal.azure.com. Once you logged into the portal, you can go and just click the home button. You can able to navigate the portal.azure.com. In the global search, we need to go to the resource group. From the resource group, let me create a Sentinel lab. Let me create a resource group. Resource group, it is like a container. I would say as a folder. You can create or you can dump it in this your resources like virtual machine, storage account, whatever, everything you can create in the resources in the Azure portal. If you align via particular resource group, it is very useful to manage, and while after completing this lab or whatever activity, if you want to delete this environment, it is very useful as like a folder, like how we are generally our in our folder environment, how we are uh, pasting your files, folders, everything on a separate folder or separate container. It is very easy to delete for the entire folder, right? Same way, the resource group is a logical container. In this, you can place your any resources in the Azure portal. Using that, you can manage and you can delete, you can organize everything. Would be very easy. So that's the reason we are always going with each and every project or whatever anything you are going to implement in a portal. If you are before doing it, you can create a resource group and you can place everything on the same resource group. It will be very organized way. Okay, so let me go into the create on the resource group. I can put a SOC lab Azure subscription, source group name. Next, create. So resource group is created. Okay. And then I need to create a separate virtual network. What is virtual network? Virtual network is a software defined network. I would say in our physical environment, you can imagine like you are in your home, like a router or any device. In the home, you have the wireless router. In your corporate environment, you have switches, firewalls, routers. You have, so in that you can create a separated network. Like if you are going to set up a and new environment at your office or whatever, you will be creating a separate network. In this, you will be creating servers, laptop, whatever it will be. Automatically those things will be creating the IP addresses from the routers from firewalls. Like that, in the Azure environment, we are going to deploy a new virtual network. In this virtual network, you will be getting the IP addresses from the virtual network. Via virtual network, you are able to connect to the outer world publicly. So that is called virtual network. I'm going to create a one virtual network. In this virtual network, we can create a subnet as well. What is subnet in this Azure? Subnet is kind of a VLAN in our physical environment. So, for example, in any our physical environment. If you want to create a different VLAN for the department wise, say for example, you have office, you have a production environment, you have a development environment, you have a HR department, you have a so these kind of things, what you will say, you will be creating a different VLAN for different department, because each and every department people, they will access only their resources, they will not access to the other resources. Same way, we need to create a subnet for the Azure virtual environment. So I'm going to create a VNet and I'm going to create a subnet for this our lab environment. Okay, let me go and create a. For that, let me go to the global search. Let me search in the virtual network. Then create. IPS as a SOC lab, since I have already created the resource group. Virtual network name, let me put the same VNet 1. Let me place into the same region. Next. Here, this is the subnet. Let me go and edit the subnet name. I'll put a name as a subnet 1. Okay, in the networking topic, you can see by default it will be taking as a 10.0.0. series. If you want, you can modify the address space as well. I can put as a 192.168.0.0. series. So that automatically, if we see below, automatically it will be taking in the different one. So let me just change it here, cancel, edit. So that by default, if you're creating the 16-bit address space, means automatically you will create a more number of network bits on the in your environment, so that you can define below, say, what kind of network resources you need. From 16 already you have taken the large space, address space. So you can define your network, how much subnet mask you want, 24-bit or 18-bit, 19-bit, but you cannot go for the beyond, like the network bit, I would say for 15, it won't be taking. You can able to define below after the 16. It means like a 17, 18 only you can able to take the network bit. So what I will do is I can define the 24-bit address space here, so that for each and every address range you will get the 256 address space, IP addresses you will get it. So let me go to the subnet 1. If you want, I can create a more subnets. Let me create a subnet 1. Then I'm going to create a one more subnet. This is for if anything, if you want to do it on the later on, you can utilize it. So I can subnet 2 as well. If you see the range of IP addresses 192.168.0.0 series. Now you can see 192.168.1.0 series. So like that, it will be creating your IP addresses in the environment. So it is done. Let me go and do next. Create. So virtual network is created. Now, and subnet is also created. The next is VNet. VNet, what is sorry. Next we are going to create a network security group, means NSG. What is NSG? NSG is a virtual firewall. I would say you can create a inbound outbound rule using this network security group, because generally if you are allowing all the ports to your environment, definitely your environment would be on the vulnerable part. So easily hackers may attack your environment, it will get affected. So for that, how we are defining the rules in our physical firewall. Same way, here we can define our firewall's rules here. So let me go to the network security group. Let me type NSG, network security group. Let me create a network security group here. Create. Let me select the same resource group, SOC lab, and let me put a resource group, sorry, the network security group as a NSG1. Let me place on the same region. Next, review and create. Okay. Anyway, it is getting deployed now. Deployment is in progress. It is done. So let me go to the resource. If you see in the network security group, by default, there will be a 3 inbound rule. There will be a 3 outbound rule. In this is a default rule. You cannot modify, you can't edit anything. You cannot do it on this rule. Later on, you can add inbound rule, outbound rule in this network security group, but this is a by default rule. So we can creating rules and all we can define later on. So now let me go and move on to the create the virtual machine for this lab environment. Okay, let me go and create a new VM. I just came to the global search and typed the virtual machine. So I came into the virtual machine blade section. Let me create a new virtual machine. Here, let me select my subscription and let me select my resource group which I created, SOC lab. And let me type a name, VM1. I'll put a same region here, availability zone also same thing. And let me select the zone 1 and security time, let it be the same thing. Let me create a new image, Windows 2022 image. So let me create a higher VM for testing purposes. It is like 2 CPUs, 4 GB memory size. Okay. And create a username and password for this. User password, let me just type it. Just remember your password. Otherwise, you can able to reset the password. Okay. First, just for the creating purposes, let me, what I can do is I can go with the default one with the basic one. What I'll do is, let me public inbound port, let me make it as a none. Later on, we can modify using the network security group. Okay. So inbound rules, I will make it as a none. Next. disks. Let me go with the default one. Networking. Already we have created the new virtual network, VNet. Subnet also I have created the two subnets. Let me make it as a first one. Public IP we need to connect the server. So let me create a new public IP for the server, because out from globally, if you want to connect the server, definitely you need a public IP. Otherwise, you cannot able to connect. Either you have to connect via public IP or you have to connect via Azure Bastion services. Azure Bastion is a different topic that we can discuss later. So now we need a public IP. Or else you can do Windows Admin Center also you can able to manage, but that is also a different concept we can discuss later. So I'll put as a NIC network security group, make it as advanced, because since we have already created the new security group. Here you need to select your security group already which we have created, NSG1. And always whenever you are doing creating a virtual machine, please select this checkbox, because whenever you're deleting this any VM after your usage, this public IP automatically it will get deleted. It is a basic how do I say, this is a basic prerequisite. It's for us safety purposes. Okay, it is a best practice, I would say. Okay, now next, management. Let it be go by default. Monitoring. Let it be go by default. Advanced. Tags. Review and create. It is going for the validation stage. Okay, validation is passed. Let me click create. So this virtual machine is getting create. It is in the process. Initializing the deployment. It is getting created now. So it is getting deployed now. Deployment is in progress now. Let it created. We will come back after this once it is done. Okay, it is going on, but generally it will not take this much time. But I don't know why it is taking this much time. It is getting creating now. It is you can see here it is showing as a creating. The notification bar it is showing it is still in deployment is in progress. Let it be create. Okay, the VM deployment is completed for the new VM. Actually, first I have created a VM1. It is taking some time, so I have created the another one, VM2. Let me go to the VM and let me just check it out. Okay, so this VM is created. You can see this is the private IP address. This is a public IP address. Okay. You okay, IP address. Let me copy the new public IP address and let me try to RDP the server. What is happening? It is initializing the remote connection. Just see whether you are able to connect or not. You cannot able to connect because we have created the VM, but in our virtual firewall, it is a network security group. We have not we have not enabled the firewall policy or firewall rule in this. So without enable the rule, you cannot able to. So let me go to the network security groups here. This is our network security group name. Let me go inside. If you see, there will be a by default. Let me go to the settings. Let me click inbound security rule. There will be a no rules will be enabled. Let me create a new security rule inbound. Source is any, source port ranges is any. So destination would be on any and service, custom service. If you click, you can able to see these many options will be, these many services would be available. HTTP, HTTPS, SSS, RDP, everything would be there. So what I'm going to do is I will not going to create a new one. So that let me create a destination post port ranges would be on star. It means I can connect to the any port. See, I can clearly show you what would be the difference between the star and other ports. It means if I'm defining any service, RDP means I can connect only port number 3389 from globally to this machine, my virtual machine. If I'm selecting the SSH, it means via port number 2222 only you can able to connect this machine. So let me create a custom. I'll make it as a star. So what will happen? Using any port, you can able to connect this server. Let me create allow, add a role. Now let me copy the virtual machine. Let me copy the virtual machine IP address. Let me RDP to the server. See, you can able to RDP. So server getting RDP. What I'll do is here, let me create a let me install the IAS on this server. Let's see how this will be working via globally. Let me go to PowerShell. Let me install the PowerShell and let me install the IAS on this machine. Now I'm going to install IAS on this server. It is installing the data. We'll come back after this installation completed. Okay, IAS has been installed on the server. Let me try to launch the default website page from the server. Open the Microsoft Edge. Confirm and continue. Start browsing. Let me just launch HTTP localhost. It means successfully I'm able to launch the IAS and I'm able to launch the website on the server. Let me launch the same application from publicly here. Let me go to launch HTTP, copy the public IP address, copy. I'm able to launch the website as well. It means that in the network security rule, I have created inbound rule as destination any and any. It means I did not specify any port ranges here. I can connect n number of services. I can able to RDP. I can able to use port number 80 and 443. Not only for that, any port on this virtual machine, I can able to access via globally. So what will happen? It will be a globally vulnerable for this VM. For that reason only, see here, you can able to see all these warnings messages. For that only, we are defining the security rules in the security group. What I'm going to do is now cancel it. Let me log off this machine. Let me delete this rule, we are going to define the, based on the port, based on the services, we can going to define the role, inbound security role. Okay. Okay, thanks guys. We can see the later videos for the secure, how we are defining the rules, and how we can going to set up this SOC Sentinel Lab. Please continue to watch on more videos my channel, so you will get more idea how to set up a Sentinel Lab and SOC Lab. Okay guys, bye.